Hello again and welcome to another edition of Southern Country. Hi, I'm Herb Southern. Welcome to the show. On this show, I'm very happy to say I have Sony recording artist Marty Stuart.
Hello,
How you doing?
Herb.
Good to see you.
You act like you know what you're doing.
Well, we're going to pretend here a little
natural,
bit.
All natural.
We were doing this, what, 8 years ago. Let's do it again. Marty Stuart, country music, bluegrass music, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Is that true?
Whatever you say, Herb.
There
You're
you
the
go.
man. You're the man.
There you go. Let's talk about your Sony project now. You have an album coming out called Country Music.
What about that?
Yeah, how about that? Tell me about the album, when's it going to be released, and what's going
Well, I
on
believe
with it?
the album, we're going to get you a new video in June. The album's coming out in July. Me and my band, the Fabulous Superlatives.
Yep.
We recorded, it took about 3 years to make this record. And somebody asked me, what kind of record you going to make? I said, how about a country record?
Whoa, where's
Duh.
that?
Why not? So we called it country music.
There you go. You're the man for the job for that.
Well, I love, there's a couple of old songs, actually 3 old songs. Well, remember that old song of Porter Wagoner's, A Satisfied Mind?
How many times that was recorded by everybody else?
Absolutely. Well, put
Incredible
one more
song.
by it. Put one more. I did that
All
one.
right.
My favorite Johnny Cash song of all time called The Walls of a Prison. And an old Carl and Pearl Butler song called Sundown in Nashville.
Okay.
Very few people know that song, but that and a bunch of new songs I wrote, and so I'm really proud of this record.
Good. When's the video coming out? You said in June.
In June.
June is coming out with the single, but both can be released at the same time.
That's right.
All right. Now you got a tour coming up, the Electric Barnyard Tour.
How about, say it again, the Electric Barnyard Tour.
I can't, it's coming. You're going to start in July, I presume.
July and August.
And it's going to be Merle Haggard,
Right.
Rhonda Vincent. She's a dear friend of
Isn't she
mine.
great?
I've known her for years, and I knew her when her kids were this big.
Really?
Sally and Tinsel.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, her mother and father, known them all.
Great.
And BR549 is going to be with you.
And Connie Smith, she's a dear friend of mine.
I
The
didn't
Old
read
Crow
this.
Medicine
I
Show.
know, yeah. And the Old Crow Medicine Show to be on
Yeah.
that? Okay. You got a good cast of
It's a
characters there,
great
man.
cast, great
And they're
cast.
going to travel with you. Where are you going to go with that tour?
Well, actually, mostly small towns, back road towns in America. And in the 1940s, Roy Acuff used to take out a tent show.
Yes.
And Cirque du Soleil,
Yep.
I'll go and see now. So this tour is somewhere, it's an amphitheater outside show. We're
Okay.
taking our own stage with
Wow.
us everywhere we go.
So you're going to go back, you're going to pretend to back in the 40s.
That's
all Roy,
right,
huh?
that's right.
Where'd you come up with the name Electric Barnyard?
Well, I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
know
take
where
that.
it came from, but it seemed like it was appropriate for what we were up to this time.
On this album called Country Music, did you write any of the songs?
Yeah, I actually wrote or either co-wrote, I think 5.
Did you? All right. And Connie wrote Farmer's Blues.
Oh, no, there's, every good song has a story behind it.
Okay.
And Connie and me were sitting at the kitchen table last September. We wrote the song called Farmer Blues.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I gave it to her. I said, next time you do a record, do that. And being that Merle is going to be on our tour this year, I thought we needed a song to sing. And I couldn't find one. I tried to write it, called my friends to write songs, and couldn't find one. So Connie said, why don't you take that song, Farmer's Blues? I said, baby, that's your song.
Yeah.
But she gave it back, and it really is a special song. Really a great song.
You recorded it with Merle Haggard.
With Mr. Merle Haggard.
And that was the first time you recorded with a Country Music Hall of Fame member?
Merle Haggard.
Okay, with Merle Haggard.
Right.
The way I read it was, you recorded other Hall of Famers,
Sure.
of course, yeah. All right. It had to be an honor to record with Haggard, huh?
It absolutely is. I think he's
an
probably about the
incredible
most
man.
important country music person we have right now.
Yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt. He can tell it like it is in his songs.
He does.
He does too.
He speaks my kind of language.
Without a doubt. Let's talk about some other songs on that album. What else do you have on that?
There's this song I wrote called By George. It's kind of a crazy song. And it talks about she was the finest looking woman that I've ever seen. You understand that?
Absolutely. You understand it too. Yeah.
She was the finest looking woman I've ever seen. Looked like she stepped right off the cover of a Glamour magazine. Never seen a girl like that in this country town. The facts were black and white. Herb, when she threw her arms around me, I went crazy. And we danced the hoochie coochie. The tide was rolling in. I was drowning in a sea of romance.
Yeah.
And then she popped the question in the back seat of my car.
Ooh.
She said, if I let you love me, would you let me call you George? And I said, you can call me George Jetson, call me George Jones, I'll be your Georgie Porgy all night long. How was I to know what I was in for? I had it rocking and rolling for a while. By George.
By George. Boy, I'll tell you, you wrote that song, huh? What was there a common thread between all the songs connected on this album, or just a variety of different songs?
Well, there are a variety of songs, but I think the fact that they're just hard-hitting country music.
Okay, you need that today.
You bet.
Yeah, the state of country music is
It was time to play some country
time to play
music.
country, put the country back into music.
That's right.
Yeah, because I don't like where it's at. But anyway, that's another story. This what kind of an audience are you trying to reach with the name of album called Country Music? The name.
Well, I think that you know, the thing about when you make real country music, it's amazing who it touches. It touches blue-collar, everyday folks like it always has.
Absolutely.
But in the music industry, I think if you make authentic music, I promise you, Ricky Skaggs has as many rock and roll fans as he does country fans from playing pure bluegrass music. And I think it's the same. I know Hank Williams Sr., a lot of rock stars love.
Oh yeah, they love his music.
Rock and roll buddies love pure. They love Johnny Cash.
Oh yeah.
They love Willie. They love Merle. I think when you make pure music, there's no boundaries to who likes it.
That's
we
true.
all understand it. It's our
That's
country
true.
folks that love it.
That's true. Hey, what's the second annual late night jam at the Ryman coming up on June the 4th?
Well, a lot of people that come to country music fanfare know that.
That's Fanfare Week?
Yeah, they moved fanfare from where they used to have it over in the Tennessee State Fairgrounds to downtown Nashville. And I was looking at the lineup a couple of years ago, and there was nothing going on late night. And so I booked the Ryman Auditorium, you know, home of the old Grand Ole Opry.
Sure.
And at 11 o'clock at night, I started a thing called Marty Stuart's Late Night Jam. And last year was the first year, and it sold out. I had Travis Tritt, Montgomery Gentry, ZZ Top, Billy Gibbons came by, Kentucky Headhunters.
You had a crew, man.
Pam Tillis. A lot of folks came by.
Yeah, they all sang a song.
All sang songs, yeah.
Wow.
And this year I think we have Winona.
Cletus, and the old Crow Medicine Show.
There you go, so far.
Yeah, so far booked, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a good crew now. Hey, tell us about what did you have to do with Andy Griffith? Nashville honors Andy Griffith.
Andy Griffith, somebody called me about 2 years ago and said, hey, Andy Griffith wants you to produce his Christmas album. And I went,
wow.
Well, he's a hard guy to say no to. We all love Andy Griffith. He's so much a part of our life. So I just finished producing his Christmas album. And it's really good.
You're the man for the job. Hey, let's talk about Flesh and Blood off the Kindred Spirits. There you go.
I'm proud of that record.
There you go.
Has that got it, Leo? Got it. All right. Kindred Spirits.
All right, let's talk about that. We have a video called Flesh and Blood. And of course, Kindred Spirits is a tribute to Johnny Cash. And that video has Mary Chapin Carpenter, Sheryl Crow, Emmylou Harris, and you're on the end there playing mandolin.
Well, it came from a live performance up in New York City we did.
Okay.
And then I produced that record called Kindred Spirits. And I thought the song really came off wonderful that night. And it was Emmylou, like you said, Mary Chapin, Sheryl Crow, and myself.
Can't get better than that.
And when it came time to do the album, I called them and we recreated this song. But this is a performance from that show that was a tribute to Johnny Cash in New York City, Flesh and Blood.
You're nominated for a Grammy with that one, huh?
I believe that's right.
Yeah, and Best Country Collaboration with Vocals category. But Grammys are nothing new to you. You've been down the road with some Grammys before, haven't you?
I'll take all the Grammys I can get. I love Grammys.
Yeah, I got a list of some of them here. You got that Grammy with Earl Scruggs, Foggy Mountain Breakdown. That was a video, too.
That's right.
I got that video.
Did you play that one?
Yeah, I have it. I met Earl. I had him on the show, Earl.
Did you?
Yeah, back in October. And who did we just have? Ralph Stanley.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're covering all the bases.
I'm trying.
You're
I'm
doing
trying.
it, Herb.
Yeah, I'm the man. You know? We had a Grammy for with the Same Old Train. What was Same Old Train?
Same Old Train was a song that I wrote and produced and played on a project that Sony did called Tribute to Tradition.
Okay.
A wonderful song. I love that song. Everybody in the world was on it. Everybody in the world. So many country stars talking about the heritage of country music. I was proud of that one.
How about the one with Sleep at the Wheel?
I believe that was an instrumental,
Tribute to Bob Wills.
Yeah.
To Bob Wills.
I believe it was an instrumental called Red Wing, an old Bob Wills and the Texas
that's
Playboys
a great song.
fiddle tune. I was proud of that one.
How about the one with Travis Tritt?
Well, I did all the work.
Okay, Travis.
Nah, I was really proud of the Whiskey Ain't Working Anymore with Travis.
Yeah, that was a
Tritt.
good song.
Thank
that was
you.
a good song. I played that so much on the radio, I can't even tell you. How did you get involved in this Kindred Spirit project?
Well, I believe it was a fellow named Blake Chansey, who's a record producer in Nashville at Sony. Came up to me, and it was coming up on Johnny Cash's 70th birthday.
Sure.
And they were wanting to do a special record, and they asked me to produce an album of Johnny Cash music. And I thought about it and got to thinking, well, what hasn't been done? Because everything in the world's been done for him.
Sure.
And what hasn't been done is nobody had thought about doing a record of just singing his songs, as celebrating him as a songwriter. So I called up some pretty heavy hitters, and
yeah, you got some crew on there, man.
It's a good record.
Yeah, it's a good one. Who have you written songs for? In the, you know, other than yourself, what albums are they on?
The latest is Dixie Chicks.
Dixie Chick album.
Two songs on their new record. Patty Loveless, I think, just recorded one. George Strait.
Now you write bluegrass for Patty?
Actually, she took a country song that me and my buddy Paul Kennedy wrote and turned it into a bluegrass
song. There you go.
Because
she's been bluegrass lately.
Yeah, Patty makes anything sound good.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
It doesn't matter.
Not at all. And have you appeared on, has anybody appeared on your records? Oh, well, other than the ones you produced.
Right.
Have you had any guests come on your album, on your records?
Well, of course, on the new one, Merle Haggard.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Pam Tillis has been on there. Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Ralph Stanley. Emmylou.
Yeah.
Earl Scruggs.
Yeah, you've had some heavy hitters,
well,
too.
That's the nice part about Nashville. It's like a family when you're making records. Everybody pitches in and helps each other.
When I go there, it's like old relatives come.
Sure.
I come down there to visit relatives.
Old friends.
Old friends. I've been there so many times. Talk about the Gaithers Homecoming Bluegrass video with Connie Smith, of course, and Sonia Isaacs, and the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Well, when I wasn't making records for the past couple of years, I had time to do some outside projects. And I know that you watch, everybody out there watches those Bill Gaither Homecoming gospel shows. And boy, he does a great job of putting gospel music together. And somebody from his world contacted me about helping him put together a bluegrass-oriented gospel singing. And it was just wonderful. We started at the Carter family home place and went from there, and like those people you mentioned, they were all on it.
Yeah, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band's incredible. I just had them in October. They opened up for, who'd they open up for? No, Earl Scruggs. They opened up for Earl Scruggs, so we had them on the show, you know, the same day I had Earl.
That's great.
Yeah, they're good people.
Yeah, they are.
Jeff and Ibby and
Bob and
how about Daddy and Them, Showtime?
Daddy and Them was a film that Billy Bob Thornton and Laura Dern did, and I scored it. I put the music to it.
Okay, that's coming out.
Is it has it been out yet?
I don't know if it came out. It said it's soon to be aired in 203.
Oh, well, good.
So it
gives us something to look forward to.
Let's look forward to it. If it's not out, if it is, we'll catch it in the rerun.
I think Billy Bob kept his clothes on this one. Well, most of the time.
Most of the time. If it hasn't been out, if it's been out, we'll see it again on reruns.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And if there's a country song in it, you'll hear it right here on.
We're going to play
Suds and Country.
We're going to play it. Hey, in your early years, you performed with a bluegrass band called the Sullivans. Sullivans. Didn't Andy Grigg marry his daughter?
That's right.
I was trying to rack my brain where I heard that.
Andy married Stephanie Sullivan. Okay. I believe.
And they're still touring.
That's right.
Yeah,
they sure are. They're still down on the back roads church houses of Mississippi and Louisiana and Alabama.
Who was Roland White?
Roland White was Lester Flatt's mandolin player when I first met him, and he's the fellow that introduced me to Lester Flatt and caused me to get a job.
There you go. That was your first job.
Yes, sir.
Playing with Lester Flatt, and then later on you put 6 years in with Johnny Cash.
That's right.
Wow. Tell us about your collection of history or memorabilia.
Well, I've always loved the people that played country music, the artifacts, the guitars, suits, hats, boots, you know, whatever, and anything that had to do with it. When I was a kid, I loved it. And the first time I ever went in a hard rock cafe was in London, I think. And I saw things that belonged to Elton John and the Beatles, and I thought, well, that's wonderful things, and I'm glad somebody's taking care of it. But nobody outside that I knew of, outside of the Country Music Hall of Fame at that time, was collecting that stuff and preserving the things that I loved. So I simply started it as a hobby, and it went crazy, and now you can go to the Country Music Hall of Fame and look at it.
Yeah, well, that must be something to see.
I love it.
Hey, Haggard says country music is common man's poetry. Is that true?
Good country music is certainly common man poetry. You can take any song that he ever wrote, from Working Man Blues to The Way I Am, any of those songs. It's just good, straight talk.
Good talk. What else we got? What do you think of the Old Brother soundtrack?
I love it.
That's a great song.
I think it's a great song.
Great music.
It was good for country music. It helped reset the clock and start something good.
Isn't that nice?
Turned it down a different road.
And they had no radio airplay, no commercial airplay.
Well, what does that tell you?
You don't need it. You don't need it.
Well, it's certainly wonderful to have it, but
here's 7 million albums later.
Yeah, it can be done.
It can be done. Can be done with PBS stations and local stations. And, of course, it didn't hurt to have George Clooney in the movie.
That's right. Oh, that'll help you.
Yeah,
that'll help your little country video.
What do you, what's your website, Marty?
What is my website? MartyParty.com.
There you go.
There you have it.
All right, MartyParty.com. We're going to, I read a little piece on one of these papers. It says, Marty bridges the strong traditional bluegrass gospel path of country music with the new rockabilly, southern rock, and contemporary sound. The history of country music lives within him. Is that, I think your wife wrote that.
That sounds like my mom or my wife.
I think Connie wrote that.
Might have been.
All right.
I love country music.
I think that's all I listen to. I won't listen to anything else. All right, pick another one. We're going to close the show.
All righty. Let's see. Well, we left, actually, well, here's the one that kind of got it started. You don't ever have to play Mirrors Don't Lie if you ever want to. It's awful.
You told me that last time. That was exactly what you said.
And it still sucks.
Things don't change, do they?
Play Now That's Country.
Where's that?
Now That's Country.
Oh, That's Country. All right. Tell us about that.
Well, I liked that song because it talks about just exactly what you and I were talking about. It just straight talk.
Yeah.
We went out into the country and filmed it. Beautiful countryside in Tennessee. My hound dog Oscar Lee was in it, and pretty girls, tractors.
Here you go.
Starry nights. Talk about it.
Let's talk about it. We'll see you next time. This has been Marty Stuart. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Good to see you, my friend.
Yes, sir. Here's Marty taking us out in Southern Country.